Margaret, Kimberly, Brother Danny, and the others. And we miss Bruce, too. Brother Bruce Dixon.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And let's talk about those internal colonies. We both taught in the prison. We visited Mumia Abu Jamal together with the great James Cone. And, there's a protean quality to white supremacy and racial suppression that it changes its shape. But we now have militarized police forces functioning as internal armies of occupation with long-barreled weapons, Kevlar vests, kicking down doors in the middle of the night. There's not much difference between a night raid in Newark or Camden or Oakland or anywhere else, and the night raids that are carried out overseas. There's that tie of with imperialism, but there is a huge section of this country, both white, black, of all colors, that have just been completely written off and by a corporate media rendered invisible. And I know I think the heart of your campaign is really to address that huge section of the American population of all colors that have just been cast aside as human refuse through deindustrialization and austerity and everything else.
Absolutely. I mean, I think of that farewell tour. Somebody I know wrote a text on that. Name was Brother Chris Hedges, that talked precisely about the precious folk who have been pushed against the wall by corporate globalists, the kind of things celebrated by the Thomas Friedmans and others. Oh, this is the way for not just liberty and freedom, but democracy across the board. Well, let's look at the evidence. I got nothing against you, Tom. Let's look at the evidence. Well, we noticed that in the United States, the point that the great William Barber's been making as head of the Poor People's Campaign with Sister Thea Harris is what? 60% of Americans living month to month. 23% of Americans still living in dire poverty, even as food.
See? Now, 60% of us poor, poverty. 23% poor, homeless. If we vote together, put him in office and put progressives, real progressives in, like Jamal Bowman, AOC, Stockard. This is who we need in the States. We outnumber the elite Democrats. Please listen to what he's saying. Biden just cut food stamps with his deal with McCarthy.
Food stamps are cut given the debt ceiling agreement between Biden and McCarthy. What are we talking about in terms of human beings who are unable to flourish because of lack of nourishment, let alone lack of access to serious substantive health care quality, even given Obamacare? I know I get that a lot from my neoliberal brothers and sisters. Obamacare came through and made the breakthrough. Oh,
no, it didn't.
Deal with big pharmaceutical companies, a deal with the corporate elites in the industry, supposedly delivering medical services, but profit at the center, leaving out so many. I believe in abolition. See, I'm part of the Frederick Douglass School of Thought. You see, I don't want to chip at poverty. I want to eliminate, abolish poverty. I don't want to chip at homelessness. I want to abolish homelessness. I don't want to chip at struggle for living wages. I want to abolish unjust wages. I don't want to chip at mass incarceration reform. I want to abolish forms of injustice that incarcerate people as if they're animals. And there's ways in which of dealing with murderers and rapists and so forth, things that are criminal. I'll be the first to acknowledge that. But there's ways of dealing with them. We can learn from Finland. We can learn from Denmark. We can learn from Sweden how you rehabilitate persons. I want to abolish corporate greed, on and on and on. And that kind of abolished mentality and imagination that the Ruth Gilmores and the Angela Davises and others have taught us mean much to me, because that's what it means in the end, to really bear witness to the precious humanity of each and every one of us, no matter what color we are, gender, sexual orientation, or national identity. And you're right, what's at stake is what? You see it in New York right now, you see it on the East Coast. Ecological catastrophe. Yeah. The future the species, future of the planet. What's at stake? The destruction of democracy. If the only alternative to fascism we produce is a corporate-driven, milquetoast neoliberal Democratic Party, fascism will come to America. Let us be very clear. It's like a Weimar America. You got to get at the roots of fascism. That's why, as you know, I'm going straight into Trump country, man. I'm going to talk to many of those vanilla brothers and sisters. I'm not naive, and I'm going to say, I know you're wounded. I know you're scarred. I know you're bruised. I know you have not been able to flourish under this corporate globalization and the arrogance of the professional managerial class and the greed of the corporate elites. I want you to be able to follow or become a part of a movement that's concerned about satisfying your basic social needs. Give up on following neo-fascist Piper. Give up on the xenophobia that makes you feel good, yet you're still catching hell economically and financially. That's what is required. And I think, I'm not naive, but I think we have a chance of reaching some of those white brothers and sisters. I don't give up on them at all. They're human beings. They just happen to want to come at black folk, gays and lesbians and Jews and Arabs and Muslims at the moment. They can be changed. You go out to reach them, not in arrogance.
Well, that.
See there? And that's what I'm talking about. This is why I will be voting and writing his name in. If his name is not on there, I will be writing his name in as President of the United States, because I had to get rid of Trump. So that left me voting for Biden. But be clear, no one wanted to vote for Biden, who created the mess that we are living in right now. Please join me in voting for Dr. Cornel West for President of the United States. It'll do all of us good. It'll take all of us out of poverty, and the rich and the uber rich will still be rich and uber rich. But there's no sense in taking our tax dollars and sending it out of this country and bringing in new people. We worked for that. Please think about it. You have a year. And if you stuck because you want an old man, he's an older man. See, there he is. He's learned. Got a degree from Harvard and another college that I can't think of. All right. I'll be posting this. Comments are welcome.